Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Skarsnik, the Warlord of Eight Peaks, is going to be leading the Orcs and Gobos against the Wood Elves. We have Shire commanding the Wood Elves, and Sladex will be commanding the Greenskins here. So for the Greenskin army, we do have a front line of Fanatics, one of which is the Eight Peak Loonies. So they are going to be unbreakable, and their Fanatics going to be causing a bit of havoc among the Wood Elf formation. But we'll see if the Wood Elves have any counter to that, kind of whittle down their HP before they do get in range of their infantry. We do have some Goblin Spears on the flanks, and in the center ranks is going to be some Orc Arrow Boys can be providing a little missile fire. But in the rear, we do have a couple of Doom Diver Catapults. So as long as the Wood Elves don't have anything to shut them down, they'll be able to rack up some very good damage. But we'll see what the Wood Elves have to counter that in just a second. We have some Orc Big Guns in the back, provide a little bit of extra stopping power, and for mobility, we do have some Forest Goblin Spider Riders in the rear, and one more is vanguarded way off into the tree line on the other side of the map. And another thing to note is a couple of these do have 9 chevrons all loaded on in, so that gives them just a little bit of boost to their melee attack, melee defense, and leadership versus the regular one, which is so they have 59, 22, and 30. And for these bad boys, we have 69, 29, and 38 for their stats. For the leadership, of course, we do have Skarsnik. He's going to be bringing the Fermented Fungi, and we have a double casters as well. And against the Wood Elves, that's actually a very good idea to do because of how easily they can snipe out your characters. So the Orc Shaman is going to be bringing Gaze of Mork. We have Brain Bursta and Fist of Gork. So Brain Bursta good at just kind of hitting those lowly armored Wood Elves. And then on the other side, we have the Night Goblin Shaman with Vindictive Glare and Wand of Jet. So Vindictive Glare can help do some pretty good damage to single entities. Having Wand of Jet, at the very least, is going to be a good mana pool for the Orc Shaman, at least until things get squared away. And now for the Wood Elf side, we have some Glade Riders up in the front. We're going to have 3 of those going to be getting in with those Night Goblin Fanatics. And then we have some Sisters of Thorn, as well as some more Hagbane tips back here. And some Wall Riders going to be looking to get a little bit of flanking going on their flank. For the rest of the Wood Elves, we do have some Dryads in the front line. They do magic damage, just in case there is going to be any Savage Orcs on the field, because they do have innate physical resist. We have some Eternal Guard, and then we have 2 Blade Singers. Blade Singers going to be a very interesting pick because they do magic damage, armor piercing, bonus versus infantry though, so again, can cut through some of that physical resist. Armor piercing is going to be a little lost, except unless you're going to be expecting a Black Orcs or potentially even the Orc Big Guns, because they do have some very decent armor themselves. We have a Spellslinger Life in the back with the Opal Amulet and Earthblood, and in the sky is going to be the Sisters of Twilight, going to be bringing Conjoined Destiny, as well as their little Arrows of Kurnos equivalent, the Eagle Quiver. So that's going to wrap things up for the 2 armies. So let's get things kicking off, as both sides are going to be seeing a little engagement in the front. Definitely Greenskins going to be doing quite well there. A big kind of misplay here by all of these Glade Riders, getting Fanatic left, right, and center, and shattering 2 of them right off the bat, and the other one is going to be routing as well. Definitely needed to be a lot more patient with these units here. They have some very good potential to kind of just wear down this front line, and especially have they just kind of sat back and just fired into these Night Goblin Fanatics. If we take a look at the Fanatics, they don't have a whole lot of armor. They do have silver shields, but still, that would have been able to whittle them down quite a bit and cycle in and out with some maybe of the more elite units. Trying to avoid those Fanatics would have been very, very keen. Definitely unfortunate there, but Vindictive Glare, Gaze of Morks are going down against the Sisters of Twilight, and there is that Eagle Quiver going to be targeting these Doom Diver Catapults, and the Catapult's going to be staying. Actually, one of them does get taken out of the picture, and the other one's still going to be firing away, looking to be targeting those Wild Riders up in the trees here. I should be able to do some fairly good damage there. Wild Riders going to want to be keeping on the move. But the initial approach, these Night Goblin Fanatics are going to be taking quite a bit of damage. These 8 Peak Loonies now having only used one of their Fanatics. So, I mean, on both sides here, I think the Fanatics could have just used their first cast and they kind of pulled back and allowed their Orc Big Guns to kind of take that initial charge. But now these Glade Riders with Hagbane tips going to be doing some good work, getting these Orc Arrow Boys off the picture, and most of the Fanatics have been all broken down very, very quickly, so there's not a whole lot of infantry left for the Greenskins to really kind of hold back the Wood Elves, though they have been able to take out a lot of the mobility that the Wood Elves did have at the beginning. And you see this engagement over here going fairly decently for the Wood Elves, being able to rout off at least one of the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. The Wah does go off, though. Should be giving everything a nice little boost and a little bit of extra stopping power. A little sandwich here on both sides. Glade Rider is going to be sandwiching in these Goblins against the Dryads, but the Dryads are going to be stuck in with those Orc Biggins. Also doing some pretty good work there, shutting down those pretty much damage dealers. The rest of the units, though, doing fairly good work. The Bladesinger is still able to stay strong in that front line, engaging with these Orc Biggins, and they are doing quite well themselves. They do have the Whirling Death, so they have plus 25 base weapon damage, losing a bit of their armor piercing, which is always the worst thing. But against the Orc Biggins only do have 50 armor, so they don't really need all of that armor piercing that they initially come with. So having that weapon damage definitely going to be providing a little bit extra bonus there. Otherwise, just spears kind of engaging against the goblins. And the Orc Shaman has been taken out of the picture, at least for the time being, by the Sisters of Twilight, who has taken a lot of damage themselves. And they're getting probably pretty close to triggering that Conjoined Destiny. However, I'm guessing Sladex is going to be saving a Vindictive Glare for when that starts to pop, because when that starts to go off, you're definitely going to want to be trying to either snipe it out very, very quickly, or you're going to have to prepare for them to be getting quite a bit of extra HP in the meantime. Now, the Greenskins taking a little bit of the advantage here in terms of balance of power. It looks like a Vindictive Glare was about to be cast in, and Skarsnik is going to be trying to come in to assist as well. He is bonus versus large, so he might be able to do some pretty good work against the Sisters of Twilight. They do have Shield of Thorns on them, giving themselves 22% physical resist, kind of keeping them going for the time being. And the Bladesingers now have gotten into some of the Orc Arrow Boys on top of that. Should be doing some pretty good work there, be able to get through them very, very quickly. Though some more units have been returning in the back and be firing some shots into the rear, kind of chipping away at them bit by bit. And these units have been able to break those Orc Biggins earlier on, but they haven't forgotten a little bit for the time being, and allowing those Night Goblin Fanatics to get in. And if they do have another, they might be a little too low to be casting that, though away goes the Sisters of Twilight here. Kind of missed out on that, but you can see that Conjoined Destiny is winding up, and is there going to be a spell? And there is that heal. So she does heal up, and she will be back here, though she is getting very close to the edge of the map. It would be rather unfortunate if the Sisters of Twilight do not return, but they do indeed, and that balance power, you can see it was very much in the favor of the Greenskins, but now it has gone the other way. Definitely unable to finish the job. There is going to be a very sore point for the Greenskins, as the Bladesinger is now going to be continuing to advance. Though what is left for the Wood Elves isn't a whole lot. You have the two Bladesingers, you have one Eternal Guard, Dryad, and a very low health Spellsinger. Otherwise, for the Greenskins, though, they have lost their magic, because we are only Skarsnik is left. We do have up on the hill, who is that over there? It looks like it is one of the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, but there's not a whole lot left. We still have the Night Goblin Shaman, but that Orc Shaman is gone, so it is only Vindictive Glare for the Greenskins, though the Greenskins can probably do some pretty good work with that, because they really need something to deal with those Sisters of Twilight. Shots just going to continue raining in from her. She does have quite a bit of ammo left, and these Bladesingers are going to be able to mop up pretty much everything that is left for the Greenskins. They really need to work with their archers here, keep them online, and try and get some surrounds off and break these Bladesingers, because they are just doing so much damage at this point, and there isn't really a whole lot on the field that can contend against them. Right now, Sisters of Twilight doing some very good shots in melee, kind of being able to break the back of these Forest Goblin Spider Riders. But in comes a Vindictive Glare, point blank range, doing some very good damage, getting that Sisters of Twilight very low indeed. Now she should be low enough to deal with, especially with Skarsnik, or another Vindictive Glare might be able to finish her off, or at least potentially rout her. Balance power now sitting nice and even. The Goblins are going to have to use their mobility here, but in the rear here, there is going to be some units way off into the distance. We have some Glade Riders that have been forgotten by the Wood Elves, and they could be very, very important had they been around here, because they would be able to contend against the Greenskin mobility, and right now that Greenskin mobility is going to be what is in their advantage. And if they're also able to break that Spellsinger life, that would be very nice indeed, because getting those heals off the board would be very helpful. But the Sisters of Twilight going to be routing off the field here. Another Vindictive Glare, enough to kind of push her out of the way. away, and I don't think she's going to be coming back. She does get a fermented fungi, though when she is routing, that doesn't really matter. She may be rampaged, but she's still going to be running away in this fight. She only has 93 health, so I do not think she is going to be returning at this point. And with her gone, that is going to allow Skarsnik and that Night Goblin Shaman to really kind of tee up. So if they have enough Winds of Magic left, that Blade Singer should go down to a single shot. But man, these Blade Singers gonna be a bit of a problem. And here is that Vindictive Glare gonna be arcing its way through. And this time it just looks like it went straight through those Blade Singers. And in all honesty, that might not be the worst target in the world, because they are such a painful thing to deal with at this point, because there's not a whole lot. There's no, good infantry left for the Greenskins. They only have the Forest Goblin Spider Riders to try and break down the Blade Singers, and they are able to shatter these Eternal Guard on the charge. But really, it is just going to come down to, but these Spell Singers getting a little bit of extra healing up, but the Blade Singers now are completely surrounded by their units, and their leadership might be what the Greenskins are going to have to rely on. Starsink going to be coming in, trying to take care of that leadership, and a very nice hit there, being able to take that Spellslinger down very, very low. She does have the Opal Amulet on top of her 22% damage resist, but that will not be enough to save her, as she is going to start routing off the field now. And with the mobility in the immediate vicinity, these forces going to be doing quite well, and it looks like a lot of things going to start routing here for the Wood Elves with all of these units. It's just down to one unit of Blade Singers. The other one has finally been broken, though the Dryads are still sitting around doing some good work. The Blade Singers do take a charge from the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and the cycling should be enough to really wear them down. They're such a spread out unit, which really makes those Forest Goblin Spider Riders do quite a bit of good work. So they're able to get more of their models on top of them, pretty much just mow right on through. And at this point, Skarsnik might be just a little bit too much for what is left to handle. And surprisingly enough, the Sisters of Twilight did return, but a Vindictive Glare goes down, sniping her out of the sky. The 360 no scope by that Night Goblin Shaman, and now these Glade Riders have been remembered, but too little too late. They had so much ammunition left. Had they been around, that may have been enough to tilt the favor in the other direction, but as it is, the Greenskins do take the fight, and that is going to be all she wrote. Let's take a little look at the after battle report. Blade Singers pretty much being a hard carry here for the Wood Elves, because just look at this value: 2,300 on that unit, 1,700 on that one, racking up a combined total of 500 kills between the two of them. Quite a lot of damage there. They accounted for half of the casualties on the Greenskin sides of things. Otherwise, for the rest of the army, the Wild Riders and pretty much all of the mobility was really unfortunate for the Wood Elves, particularly these three Glade Riders that charge into the Fanatics, and they just kind of left them there. It was very, very unfortunate. Had those pulled out, I think the Wood Elf army would have had a lot more teeth to deal with the Greenskins, because losing 3 of their skirmish cabs so early on pretty much allowed all of the Forest Goblin Spider Riders to just do whatever they wanted at that point, and that was kind of the crux in that late game for the Wood Elves, not having that mobility that they should have been able to win, but unfortunately they were not. The Sisters of Twilight racking up some good damage there, getting that Conjoined Destiny, proven just how important that was, because the balance of power shift when that did go off was pretty considerable. We'll take a little look at the Greenskin side of things. The Doom Divers, one of them definitely not doing a whole lot of good work. The other one was able to just barely hit its own value, but overall I think they're a little bit of a waste there on that side. And the Goblin Fanatics should have some pretty good value, even though they got taken out of the picture fairly early on. Their one Fanatic cast was able to pretty much break down the Wood Elf skirmish. The Orc Biggins and the Orc Arrow Boys getting some okay damage. But otherwise, nothing really stood out on the Greenskin side in terms of overall damage. Now, the Night Goblin Shaman with the Vindictive Glares was the sole source of all that damage, able to get a ton of value off on those Sisters of Twilight, and even Skarsnik himself doing some good work in melee. So really the heroes here on the Greenskins was the only thing that really stood out. Everything else was kind of good damage spread throughout the rest of it. But otherwise, yeah, that was what I've got for you today. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good one.